Now this is a particularly interesting image from a previous TE exam, and as with all of them, we start by looking at the context for the image before we even start analysing it. So this photograph was taken in Istanbul, Turkey in 1998. Now in order to make some sense of this, we need to think about our expectations and our assumptions we make about Turkish culture. So if we don't know anything about Turkey, we might be a bit lost, but then we can look at the symbols of dress here and understand that this is obviously a Muslim country. And so by invoking that, we start thinking about our own assumptions, our own expectations of what we would see in Muslim culture, and that has in large part been influenced lately by the media, particularly with its representations of Afghanistan and Iraq. Now when we look at this image, it forms a bit of a triangle, and our attention is initially drawn to the center. And I'd like to start in the background with the two ladies and the young child who's in some kind of dress. I'm not sure if the dress for the child is normal dress for a child in Turkey. It does appear that he's dressed up for a special occasion. And we see these two older women with their faces drawn away and their heads covered by scarves. And in the foreground we have another mother with a small child, again with the usual markers of Muslim culture. And then when we look to the right, we see these two girls sitting on the steps, again in the same sort of dress, and one of them doesn't look that happy. But then when we look over to the far left, we see two girls who appear to be much more westernized in their dress. And if we draw our attention first to their shoes, and then to how the girl on the left isn't wearing any headscarf, we see that this is kind of the modern face of Turkey. And what's interesting there is the way the girl on the left is smiling. And so then when we compare it back to these original girls, I think from this image, a reading we can apply to it is how this image represents the modern Turkey juxtaposed with the traditional Turkey. And then that invites readings about conflicts between cultures trying to face Western pressures and trying to maintain their own sense of identity. And so in this image we see a culture in flux, and we see these girls here presented as not being so happy might suggest that the photographer here is trying to convey an idea that Islamic culture might be happy if it were more westernized. But the contrast between these two images here offsets what's in the center. And it also makes us ask questions. What is the future of Turkey? If it's the girls on the right, we'll see much more of the same, but the girls on the left will present a new version of Turkey. And we also can't ignore in the image of the two girls on the left that the younger one is wearing a scarf. And so she kind of represents a bit of a transition between the two ideas of what it means to be a Turkish woman. And then we can apply readings of gender, we can apply all sorts of readings, and we can look at how our experiences of other texts have influenced how we read this one.